The Emperor's New Clothes. There was once a boy. He wasn't just a boy, he was a prince. His father wasn't just a king, he was the emperor of 20 countries or more. The prince had everything that he wanted. He had lots of toys and games, and dogs and horses too. He was a happy child, and happiest of all when he had new clothes. The prince grew up and became emperor, like his father. He still loved clothes. He had clothes for important dinners in the city. He had other clothes for quiet weekends in the country. He had clothes for the mountains and for the seaside. Sometimes he changed his clothes 3 or 4 times in one day. In the streets around the emperor's palace, you could buy all kinds of clothes. You could buy the most beautiful coats and the most expensive hats and shoes. Of course, the emperor bought more coats and hats and shoes than anyone else. New people came to the city every day to live and work. They came to buy and sell things too. Most of them were good and honest, but not all. One day, 2 men came to the palace. They asked to see the emperor. "We are weavers," they said. "We're the best weavers in the world." They opened their bags and took out some pieces of cloth. They showed the emperor red and green cloth, and blue and gold. "Look, we made all of these. Aren't they beautiful?" "Amazing," said the emperor. "For you, we can make something really special," the weavers added. "We can weave magic cloth. It's very light and thin. The magic is that only clever people can see it. Clever people or people who are good at their jobs." "That's wonderful," said the emperor. "You must use it to make some clothes for me." "I need to know that my ministers and my servants are good at their jobs," he said. "Maybe some of them aren't very clever or honest. Maybe they won't see the cloth. I want to be sure." "Magic cloth is very expensive," said the 2 men. "Money isn't a problem," the emperor answered. "You can have everything you need. Why don't you work here in the palace?" The 2 men chose a room with big windows and lots of light. The emperor gave them money for the most expensive thread, red and purple and gold. They brought their weaving machines and started to work, but there was nothing on the machines. There was no thread and no cloth, nothing at all. They pretended to work for days. "Are my clothes ready?" the emperor thought. "When can I see them?" Then he thought, "Wait a minute, I know I'm clever and I think I'm good at my job, but what if I can't see the clothes? I know I can send my prime minister. He's very clever." So the prime minister went to see the weavers. He looked at their machines and he saw nothing. "What do you think?" the man asked. "Do you like it?" "Help!" thought the prime minister. "I can't tell the emperor. I don't want to lose my job." So he said, "It's wonderful, very special, really lovely." "Thank you," smiled the 2 men. "Oh, and we need some more money. Is that all right?" A few days later, the weavers said, "The emperor's clothes are ready now." The emperor was very excited. He brought his prime minister and all his servants to see his new clothes. They all saw nothing. "Aren't they lovely?" said the prime minister. "Beautiful," added the servants. They can all see the clothes, but I can't, thought the emperor. What's wrong with me? So he also said, they are amazing. Well done. The next day, the man pretended to help the emperor with his new clothes. Then he went out into the city with all his ministers and his servants. There were thousands of people in the streets. Everyone knew about the magic cloth. Everyone knew that only clever people could see it, and everyone saw nothing. Doesn't the emperor look wonderful? They said. But he isn't wearing any clothes, said a child. He isn't wearing anything. Whoosh, said her father. But her mother said, she's right, you know. Then someone else said, the emperor has no clothes. Soon everyone in the street was saying the same thing. The emperor pretended not to hear. It was a cold day, and he started to shiver. I can't stop now, he thought. He walked a little faster and shivered a little more. He could hear people laughing. Away from the palace, two men were walking quickly through the quiet streets. They wore dark coats and black hats. They had bags full of gold and big smiles on their faces. About Hans Christian Andersen. Hans Christian Andersen lived in Denmark over 100 years ago. His family was very poor. When he was a child, he didn't have many friends, but he loved stories. In 1837, Andersen wrote a book of stories for children. One of the stories was The Emperor's New Clothes. Some other stories by Andersen are The Little Mermaid and The Snow Queen. People all over the world still read Andersen's stories. They are often about princes and princesses, kings and queens, fairies and magic. Fairy tales is the special name for this kind of story.